Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Server Room. This time we have Karthik Ananda Rao with us, Chief Technical Evangelist of ManageEngine. So how have you been, AK?
I've been good. Thank you so much for calling me to this podcast. And I'm happy to be here and being interviewed by you as well.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Also, how is Dubai right now? Because it's very hard to get you. You're never in India. So
Dubai is
your
really
most wanted
hot.
guest.
Yeah. Dubai is really hot and the temperatures are soaring at like 50, 55.
Okay.
And as such, when it comes to the business side, we have quite a few interesting deals coming up this year.
Mhm.
And we are also going to participate in GITEX, the biggest event for the Middle East. And
In
yeah,
October,
Silver-
right? Yeah.
in October, and we are the silver sponsor. So we look forward to welcome our customers, and we look forward to have more interesting deals coming up as well after the
Yeah.
event.
Sure. And should I call you Karthik or should I call you AK? Because it should technically be KA, right? But
Yeah.
everyone calls you AK.
Yeah. So I people fondly call me as AK, and I prefer to be called by that way because that's kind of a tag mark that has been associated with me since I joined this organization. So please call me as AK.
Okay, sure. So talking about Middle East and talking about technology in the Middle East. So we all know that Middle East was built on oil. And so do you think that industrialization is what triggered digital transformation in the region?
Of course, yes. So the way we have been consuming the natural resources, they are definitely going to be depleted at one point of one generation or after the other. So talking about oil, and let me just be specific about few countries here. When we talk about Middle East, the biggest countries that come to our mind is UAE and Saudi Arabia. So talking about UAE, we have 7 emirates, out of which Abu Dhabi and Dubai and Sharjah are the major ones. So Dubai started to find out that they are going low on natural resources, the natural reserves that they had. So that's when they started thinking about an alternative way of promoting their emirate. Emirate is a kingdom. So they thought that it's no longer going to be useful to be dependent on oil. That's when they started looking into tourism, real estate. Real estate is booming up, and then they're coming up with new projects. The Burj Khalifa, which everyone is interested to know, and everyone is interested to see that. Everyone is excited to see that one as well. And there are a lot of indoor activities and outdoor activities which Dubai promotes as part of its tourism. And talking about the mega projects, they're coming up with a moon-shaped building. They're coming up with a skyline around Burj Khalifa, which is kind of a 500-meter tall building, a circular building, which actually covers up the entire downtown of Dubai.
Oh,
So
that's
these are the mega projects that they have been investing on, and it's actually giving them the desired results. In fact, the Expo 2020 gave them the highest ever visitor list or higher ever visitor count in the world. So that being said,
I'll just give a small plug-in because
Yeah.
Expo 2020 is one of our customers.
Yeah, Expo 2020 is also one of our
Yeah.
customers. Yeah. And talking about Saudi Arabia is the other major kingdom that we'll have to definitely talk about when it comes to Middle East. They have their natural reserves intact. They say that it's actually going to be self-sufficient for the next 70 to 100 years. But they are also now going to invest on new projects. The project is the line, which is a 20-mile long building with all the ultra-modern infrastructure. They're also coming up with Murabba, which actually can hold 20 Empire State Buildings within itself. So it's as huge as anyone can think of. And it's also going to be with the ultra-modern infrastructure with all the AI things coming up, the mission, everything is going to be driven by robots. And then everything is going to be like futuristic approach to the building and to the management of the building as well. So this is where the kingdoms, the major countries within Middle East have been heading towards. In fact, we can even give an example about Qatar. Qatar actually hosted the World Cup, and they got the desired results, the desired profits by hosting the World Cup there. So all these projects which are coming up, like Saudi 2030, and then Dubai is coming up with Dubai Vision 2035. So these are projects which have been progressive, which actually make Middle East progressive than other regions.
Yes, and also Middle East has one of the most technologically advanced countries. So, do you think was this digital transformation purely on need basis, or was it to compete with other growing economies?
Actually, I would actually answer it as both. The first one is it was a need for them to show that they are also front runners in technology. They are also front runners in digital transformation and things like that. But once they started investing into digital transformation, once they started investing into promoting new technologies, that's when it actually became kind of a competitive advantage. So now when you have to talk about this, just to give an example here, I have to stand in line at the India immigration at least for 2 to 3 minutes to actually clear the immigration and get into the boarding area. Whereas in Dubai, I just have to stand for 20 seconds. So it's just a see-through channel through which I pass through and then get my biometrics done. It just looks at my eye, get my biometrics done, and then I'm inside. So,
is it like a do-it-yourself system there?
yes, exactly. It's a kind of a do-it-yourself system. And I don't have to look anywhere. I just have to pass through it. So it automatically scans my eyes and then it lets me in. So this is the kind of advantages, the technological advancements that you can look into when it comes to Middle East. And actually, quite recently, a couple of weeks ago, when I was actually traveling to Abu Dhabi, they were actually they were testing the driverless cars, which actually transports a passenger from one end to the other. And it was quite interesting to see that the passenger is happily sitting without the driver in front. Yeah,
yes. That's scary.
Yeah.
Also.
It looks,
nice.
When you say that, it actually sounds scary. But when you look at it, it is like, wow, this is the kind of thing that we will actually want to. Because I don't drive cars. I don't drive cars in Dubai. So I felt like, oh, this is the kind of car that I need. Because
it's nice to be driven around.
Nice to be driven by a robot, yeah. So it was interesting.
Nice.
So it is like, as I said, the need actually moved into a competitive advantage here.
And also, most organizations are concerned about data privacy and security. Is that a concern in the Middle East? Are IT teams taking any steps for that?
Of course, data. When you talk about data, it's a point of discussion everywhere. To give you some statistics here, we found out that, or rather, when I attended one of the CIO events in Dubai, we were told that only 38% of the data which is available in the entire world has been tabbed. So nobody knows where the 62% of the data has gone. So talking about this 38% of data, this is actually driving all the decisions across the world. Middle East is not new to this as well. So the data from Middle East is also part of this 38%. So when it comes to data privacy, the UAE Cybersecurity Council and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's Cybersecurity Council, they take it really hard when it comes to data. Data privacy has to be maintained. Data security, data governance, data compliance, all this have to be as part of the regulations. So the personal data protection law was introduced in UAE in Jan 2021. And in Saudi Arabia, it was introduced in September 2022. So from then on, all organizations by default have to adhere to this cybersecurity laws, the data protection laws, and they take it very seriously, like any other advanced countries as well.
That's nice to know. Also, what percentage of a company's revenue is directed towards IT? Do you have any idea?
Of
Is
course.
it on par with the global average?
To be very precise, it's actually on par with the global average. The global average is somewhere around 4.5% or 25th percentile, whereas in the Middle East, it's around like 4%. So it's on par with that. And then on the 75th percentile, when you talk about the 75th percentile, it is actually, it should be at 12.5%, whereas in UAE and the Middle East, it's somewhere around like 11.75. So it's on par with the global standards. And organizations are making more efforts to understand or to invest more on cybersecurity solutions. So cybersecurity is part of IT, as everyone knows. So it's important, or it's imperative for organizations to invest more on cybersecurity solutions so that they can safeguard their business, so that customers can trust their business more, and they can have a sustainability when it comes to business.
Also, and most companies have been investing in AI as well. So, is this a trend in the Middle East? So, if yes, what aspects of business are they trying to optimize with AI?
Well, good question. Of course, as the world advances towards AI, Middle East is not new to this. So Middle East also has introduced this. In fact, last year at GITEX, we saw quite a few AIs doing the job of a receptionist, of an operator, yeah, of an operator, and then AI is doing a lot of maintenance activities. Say, for example, the AI actually helps regulate the water and electricity in Diva. So they have their own AI model, which actually regulates how much of water has to be distributed to buildings, how much of water has to be distributed to commercial buildings, and how much has to be done to the malls. And then similarly, when it comes to electricity, depending on the usage pattern, they actually bill the individuals based on that. So AI has become part and parcel of the people in Middle East, and every other country which belongs to Middle East has actually been following the footsteps of Dubai or Saudi Arabia to invest and introduce new models, new AI models into various walks of life. I was actually talking about the operator assistance here. Then we have robos at banks, which actually a couple of weeks ago when I had to do my bank attestation done for visa processing, it was a robo which actually did the attestation and then gave it back to me. So
Did it do a stamp?
Yes, it did
Okay.
the stamp like this,
Okay.
the blue stamp, because it was mandatory that I have to give a blue stamp on my bank statement and then submit it to the visa authorities. So a robot did that and then gave it back to me. I was so happy to even see that, because I didn't even talk to any agent there. So this gentleman who asked me to whom I approached, he said, "You go talk to the robot; it will give you that." So it was just like matter of like 2 minutes. I got the bank statement attested, and then it was easier for that. So in various sectors, in various walks of life, and various walks of business, AI has been implemented. Customer service is one major area where AI has been implemented. Similarly, traffic, talking about water and electricity, talking about police, Dubai police, they use AIs to identify the speeding cars, the cars with speed. So they actually fine as soon as they know if the car has exceeded the speed limit on a particular road. So it's all AI driven right now.
Also, is there any LLMs? Because LLMs are gaining so much attention these days. ChatGPT, DALI, there are a lot of
Yeah.
LLMs out there. So, are Middle East companies working on any LLMs?
Of course, they are. The most popular one is Falcon 40B. It's the LLM that is developed by a technical institute in Abu Dhabi. They have built this open source LLM with 40 billion parameters. using 1 trillion tokens. So it's as huge as anyone can think of. They are going to develop more on this as well. And we are looking forward to do a beta testing as well as to how this Falcon B 40B is going to be useful. Actually, I haven't tried it out personally, like how I've tried ChatGPT. I'm waiting to get this done.
Also, Middle East are the Middle East countries in the right direction in terms of technology? Are IT teams equipped to walk into an AI-driven world?
Of course, they are. A lot of efforts have been done by UAE Cybersecurity Council. In fact, to name a person here, I would want to name the head of Cybersecurity Council. He is Dr. Mohammed Al Kuwaiti, who has been a regular to our events as well, to our seminars and user conferences and so on. So he has been the driving force behind UAE's cybersecurity operations. So taking cue from his speeches, I find that a lot of organizations have, or actually 83% of the organizations have moved towards adopting AI models, and 70 to 75% of the organizations are planning to do it by the end of this year. So I'm sure by 2025, almost like 90 to 95%, even more than 95% of the organizations would have moved towards adopting AI models within their organization as well as part of their IT. And the most important one to talk about when it comes to AI model within IT is, how do you introduce this as part of your zero trust strategy? That's something which is being driven as part of UAE Cybersecurity Council. So do not trust anything which comes into your network. It could be a USB device, it could be your laptop, your mobile phone, whatever it is. So you have to manage the identity of all the entities which come into your organization. It could be a user, it could be a device.
Yes, actually, I wanted to talk to you about zero trust as well. So I want to ask you more questions, but I think this is a good note to end on. So thank you so much. And I also have a small souvenir for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.